they entered the Black Rock Forest as friends. But what happened that night would be remembered for centuries, because when the darkness awakened, no one could tell whether it was friendship that survived, or the entity. The night had just begun when Ethan, Ryan, and Luke rode into the thick woods of Black Rock. The road disappeared behind them, swallowed by mist that clung to their faces and the beams of their headlights. They were young, adventurous, and stupidly brave. 3 college friends chasing content for their small YouTube channel called Urban Shadows. They had filmed haunted forts, empty graveyards, and forgotten tunnels before, but this one felt different from the moment they entered. Ryan was the one who found it. A blog post online that said, "No one who enters the Black Mansion ever returns." Ethan laughed when he read it. That's exactly what people said about the last place we filmed. But Luke wasn't convinced. He had seen too many strange things on their past trips, shadows that moved, voices that didn't belong. Still, he came along like always. The deeper they went into the forest, the quieter it became. No birds, no insects, just the sound of their bikes humming against the cold, wet ground. A thick fog rolled in, wrapping around the trees like smoke. Then from far away a bell rang, soft, hollow, echoing through the silence. One single chime, then another, and another. Ryan slowed his bike. "You guys heard that, right?" Ethan grinned. "Old temples make sounds like that. Don't freak out." But Luke whispered, "That didn't sound like a temple bell." It sounded closer. They reached a clearing where the trees bent backward, as if afraid of something at the center. And there it stood, the Black Mansion. Its walls were covered in soot and moss, its tall windows shattered, and a massive bell hung from a rotting beam on the roof, swaying gently though there was no wind. Ethan killed the engine. "Well, this is it." Luke's hands were shaking. "Something's wrong with this place, man." Ryan, always curious, turned on the camera. "Let's make history." They filmed the outside for a while, laughing nervously, teasing each other. But then Ryan said he wanted to go inside first, just for a quick look. Ethan warned him not to, but Ryan smirked, grabbed a flashlight, and disappeared through the doorway. The beam of his light flickered down the corridor until it vanished completely. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Ethan called out, "Ryan, stop playing around!" No answer, only the echo of his voice. They waited another 5 minutes before Ethan decided to follow him. Luke tried to stop him, but Ethan pushed the door open and stepped inside. The air was thick and cold, and the smell of burnt wood filled his nose. The hallway stretched into darkness, walls covered with strange black symbols. A bell rang again somewhere deep inside. Ethan's flashlight flickered, and for a second, he thought he saw something. A figure standing at the end of the corridor, tall and motionless, its head slightly tilted. He froze. "Ryan?" The light went out. When Ethan stumbled back outside, pale and trembling, Luke ran to him. "Where's Ryan?" Ethan's lips were shaking. "He's gone." Before they could run, a voice spoke from behind them, old, cracked, and slow. "You shouldn't have come here." An old man stood near the edge of the trees, holding a wooden staff. His eyes looked almost white in the moonlight. He walked closer and whispered, "Whoever enters that mansion never returns, unless they complete the 3 tasks." Luke stared at him. "What are you talking about?" The old man sighed. "The mansion is cursed. The spirit that lives inside demands 3 offerings. One of blood, one of courage, and one of sacrifice. Only then can it release what it has taken." Ethan's voice trembled. "What do we have to do?" The man looked at the forest and pointed. "First, you must bring the blood of a creature that hunts in darkness. You will know it when you hear its cry." They followed the direction he pointed, deep into the woods, where even the moonlight struggled to reach. The forest was alive with strange noises. Then, suddenly they heard it, a deep rumbling growl from behind the trees. Out stepped a wild black wolf, its eyes glowing faintly red, lips curled back to reveal sharp fangs. Ethan whispered, "That's it. That's the one." It lunged. The boys barely dodged, scrambling for sticks and rocks. Luke tripped. The beast leapt at him, but Ethan grabbed a rusted rod from the ground and struck it. The creature howled in pain before collapsing. Its blood shimmered unnaturally under the moonlight. Shaking, Ethan filled a small jar with it. "That's one," he said softly. "2 more to go." The old man appeared again, as if out of nowhere. "The second task," he said, "lies within the heart of the forest. There you'll find a glowing tree with a hollow inside. Bring back the effigy that rests within it. But beware, the spirits guard it." They walked for hours until the forest began to change. The trees turned white, their bark glowing faintly. In the center stood the tree, its trunk pulsing with soft golden light. A narrow hollow yawned open at its base. Ethan crawled in while Luke stayed outside, calling nervously. Inside, the air buzzed like static. He saw dozens of shadowy figures clinging to the walls, faces half-formed, whispering in unknown tongues. At the center lay a small wooden doll, carved like a human figure, its eyes painted black. As Ethan reached for it, the whispers grew louder, angry, desperate. Cold hands brushed against his arms. He grabbed the doll and crawled out gasping, his face white. "Let's get out of here," Luke shouted. They ran until the whispers faded. When they looked back, the glowing tree had vanished. The old man appeared again near the mansion's gate, waiting as if he knew they would return. "You've done well," he said. "Only one task remains. Inside the mansion there is a hidden chamber. To open it, you'll need a key that hangs around the neck of the forest guardian." Luke frowned. "What guardian?" The ground shook, trees bent. From the shadows emerged a creature taller than any man, its body covered in fur, half beast, half nightmare. Its breath was hot and rancid, eyes gleaming like molten gold. The key dangled from a chain around its thick neck. Ethan and Luke froze, fear swallowing their courage. The creature roared, shaking the leaves from the trees. They ducked, rolled, fought with everything they had. Rocks, metal rods, anything they could find. Ethan swung hard, striking its chest again and again until it fell. Heart pounding, he pulled the chain from its neck. The key was cold and heavy, pulsing faintly like it was alive. They returned to the mansion, pushed open the door, and entered the dark hall again. The bell was still ringing, and slow, endless. Guided by the old man's words, they found a trap door beneath the broken stairs. The key turned in the lock with a creaking sound. A passage opened, leading to a small stone chamber lit by candles that burned without flame. In the center was a pedestal. Ethan placed the wooden effigy upon it. Luke handed him the jar of blood. The moment the blood touched the doll, a blinding light burst out, golden and pure, filling the room, pushing back the darkness. The walls trembled as hundreds of shadowy figures screamed and vanished into the light. Then silence. The door at the back of the chamber creaked open. Standing there was Ryan. His face was pale, his clothes torn, but his eyes were clear. "Ethan, Luke," he whispered. "I saw them. I saw everything. They wouldn't let me go." Ethan ran to him, tears in his eyes. "It's over now." The old man's voice echoed faintly from behind them. "The spirit is free, and so are you." When they looked back, he was gone. Only the forest remained, quiet and still, as if it had been holding its breath the whole time. By morning, the three friends walked out of Black Rock Forest together. The sun rose for the first time in days, breaking through the fog. They never spoke about that night again. But sometimes when the wind blows through the trees, you can still hear a faint sound echoing from deep within. A slow, hollow bell, reminding everyone of the night when friendship met the darkness and somehow survived.